Today we are talking about the elements of an effective graph and the I-square strategy. Please write these notes on page 12 of your interactive biology notebook. A graph has 5 main components. To remember these 5 parts, remember a graph talks. The 5 components are title, axis, labels, key, and scale. Your title will always be the y-axis versus the x-axis. Your axes are the x-axis and the y-axis. This is your independent variable and your dependent variable. Your labels are your units for each graph, for each axis. The key explains the symbols you may have on the graph. And lastly, your scale should have equal spacing. So remember, a graph talks. Title, axis, label, key, and scale. Now we're going to be talking about the I-square strategy. The I stands for identify and interpret. When you identify something on the graph, you're describing what you see. So identify what I see. Then you need to interpret what this means. Once you have these 2 components, you need to write a caption for your graph so it summarizes the results from your graph. I'm going to do an example for you right now. So the example is about Alodia. Alodia, a water plant commonly found in aquariums, gives the bubbles of oxygen when placed in bright light. Students in biology noted that if a light was placed at a different distance from the plant in the aquarium, then the rate of bubbles of production changes. So the data that was given is that the distance from light was measured in centimeters. The bubble production was measured in bubbles per minute. And the numbers that were given to us were 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Bubbles were 40, 20, 10, 5, and 3. So those are the results of that data table. Now we need to take these data points and put it onto a graph. So I'm going to remember that my graph talks and that I need to use my I2 strategy. So first I'm going to draw this graph. So the first one, my first point is to make a title. So bubble production versus distance of light. Check this off. My axis, this is my y, this is my x. So my x-axis is distance of light in centimeters. This one is bubble production from bubble per minute. Check this off. Now I need to label. And I already done so. I need to make a key. So my key can be Alodia. This should say key, sorry. Okay. And now I need a scale. So if my scale for my x-axis is 10 to 50, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then my highest number for my y-axis is 40, so I'm going to do 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, sorry, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So next thing I need to do is just to plot it. First plot is 10 is at 40, 20 is at 20, 30 was at 10, 40 was at 5, and my last point was 3. So I connect the points. And then for my I square, which was identify and interpret, I identify that the graph decreases, so there's a decrease. And now I need to interpret, well, it looks like the bubble production rate decreases as the distance of light increases. And this could be because the Alodia needs light to make bubbles. And that essentially could be our caption. So I'm going to go ahead and write the caption out for you. The bubble production decreases as the distance of light increases because Elodie needs light to make bubbles. And this would actually go under the graph as your caption. This wraps up this lesson for today. On Monday, we will come back and practice graphing using our 5 components, graph top, and also implementing our I-square strategy.